Hey everybody, I wanted to give you an update on what I'm seeing going on in the current real estate market. We're June 30th today, and I want to talk about a few things. First, I think there's a lot of information being put out there in the media that's a lot of propaganda. I think the market is changing, it's shifting. I think it's for the better. It's going to help our economy, it's going to help buyers. It's ultimately still going to be really good for the sellers, and here's why. So if you look what's going on in our market right now, we have about 1,500 single family homes on the market and 2,400 homes pending. Over the last 2 weeks, we've started to see price reductions. And I think that people are starting to feel like, well, if we're reducing prices, we're heading to a bad place in the market, or there's a bubble, or it's going to crash. And that's just not the case. And the reason is there is still huge demand. And I believe what I've seen, what I've experienced on our team and in the market, helping buyers and sellers, is that the reason for these price reductions is we're coming off around a 2 year stretch where prices were pushed every week. And when I would meet with a seller, we would talk about pricing, and then maybe 2 weeks later we'd plan on listing. And when I'd come back to them 2 weeks later, we'd have to reevaluate because the price had increased. And when we list a home, we try to be, for our sellers, reasonably aggressive to market values. So we're listing right at or right over market value, depending on a couple of factors: price, condition, location, recent sales in the neighborhoods, those sorts of things. And we were doing that week after week for 2 years. Well, here we've seen a shift mainly caused by the high interest rates, and I definitely understand why buyers would push back a little bit and slow down a little bit, which we have seen. Homes are staying on the market maybe 2 days rather than 20 minutes. But we have to remember what a normal market is. A normal market in the Columbia area, I would say, 90 to 120 days on market. If you look back at the history of our market, is more a normal market. Having a homes go on the market and sell in 20 minutes with multiple offers on everything, regardless of location, condition, or price, is not a normal market. So we have seen price reductions right around 150, 160 price reductions, and I think that's because everybody continued to push prices through this shift, this change in the market, driven by the interest rates. And a lot of those people, didn't have activity, weren't getting the showings they expected, and right away reacted, knee-jerk reaction, pull the price down, reduce the price. And I think sellers right now have three options. First, at the beginning, you want to price smart. You want to really look at the comps and the data and make a decision based on the data and what's actually happening in our market, not what the media is saying, just what is actually happening. And I personally do that by looking 2 weeks and then 30 days back to see, okay, what's happening and what do we need to do. Number two, what sellers need to do is, I think, be a little less aggressive on pushing the market, thinking about, well, the house is going to go under contract today, but what is it going to be worth in 3 weeks when the appraiser comes through? Because the market the appreciation rate has slowed. That's what I'm seeing here on the streets. It's slowed. It's still good. Home values are still going up. They'll continue to go up, but it's not going up at a fast rate. The third option, if you have a home on the market and it's not selling immediately, I understand the stress and the concern, but the third option is just to wait it out a little bit longer. We're entering here into the 4th of July holiday weekend, and what I've seen traditionally is it's either a great weekend for contracts or it's a really great weekend for looking online. So people have some time and they're looking and they're thinking about their move. Also, I think about the market for sellers as looking 30 days out, kind of the map of closing. You put a contract today, it's June 30th, you'll close at the end of July. So I feel that the next 2-3 weeks are really, really important for sellers, because big families buying larger homes or family homes, this is when they're looking to get in before school starts. So I anticipate we're going to have a really good market coming off the last 2 or 3 weeks where it was a little slower, buyers were a little more cautious, a little frightened, but we're starting to return to more normal. I believe today we're in the low 5%. So let's talk about buyers for a second. Buyers, this is really, I think, what you've been waiting for. We're starting to see buyers get in with some maybe non-traditional financing, some state housing loans. VAs have been really tough because the appraisal inspection process can be a little more diligent, and at times if a seller has an option between a cash or conventional or VA, a lot of times they're leaning the other way. So it's great to see that our VA buyers are able to get contracts. We're still not seeing a significant number of people being able to get a home contingent on a lot of things like a sale or closing. Closing, though, if you have a closing contingency, a little bit easier to get a home right now. It's shifting a little bit, and it's mainly driven by interest rates and I think the media, what's being said. Investors, this is really great for y'all because you've been waiting for inventory and the opportunity to beat out all the buyers that jump on a property when MLS comes. I'd say on our listings, the properties that I would say 4, 5, 6 months ago, we were seeing 20 offers. Now we're seeing 12, which is still fantastic. I remember the days when we'd sit for 30 days waiting for one on a beautiful house, well priced in a great location, great neighborhood. So overall, fantastic market. If you have any questions about buying or selling, investing, I'd be happy to help. Feel free to reach out anytime.